Hilton brings you new ways to stay, with experiences that let you capture the glory days. Introducing the Graduate Hotels. Each inspired by local college towns, these stays are always original and never boring. Get in touch with traditions all across the country and enjoy a stay that's a class above the rest. Book at Graduate Hotels with Hilton Honors Points at Hilton.com. It's a win-win. Hilton, for the stay.
USAA knows dynamic duos can save the day, like superheroes and sidekicks or auto and home insurance. With USAA, you can bundle your auto and home and save up to 10%. Learn more and get a quote at USAA.com/bundle. Restrictions apply.
I think you're on mute.
Workday starting to sound the same?
I think you're on mute.
Find something that sounds better for your career on LinkedIn. With LinkedIn Job Collections, you can browse curated collections by relevant industries and benefits, like flex PTO or hybrid workplaces, so you can find the right job for you. Get started at linkedin.com/jobs. Finding where you fit. LinkedIn knows how.
The new McCrispy Strip is here. Dip approved by ketchup, tangy barbecue, honey mustard, Sprite, McFlurry, Big Mac sauce, double dipped in buffalo and ranch, more ranch, and creamy chili McCrispy Strip Dip. Now at McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Joveljic was trying, man. He's forcing it. Every time he got the ball, he was looking positive, looking to make something happen, even if he couldn't. But he isn't getting the service. When was the last time somebody played a ball in for him where he had the chance to just one touch put it on frame?
Well, I would say 4 games ago at least.
Yeah. Back at it again with another episode of the Shades of Blue Soccer Show. My name is Cody Bradley. Thad Bell, Kerry Robinson, and Mike Kuhn are all here with me. Apparently, it just takes a worldie to beat this team. I can't believe that happened again. It's fun seeing it, but I can't believe it actually happened again. 1-0 loss to Portland. We are a night late because someone fell asleep. We are glad to be back, even though the team has us drinking. I'm drinking a twisted tea because I got it from people at Kickball. Kerry is sitting here with the fanciest drink I think I've ever seen show up on this show.
It's not that fancy. It's just the glass. It's a martini glass. And I just threw in a shot of Deep Eddies with sparkling water. It's not that fancy.
You got some La Croix in there?
Yes.
That's still fancy. I like that you're just feeling good. Sporting Kansas City is kind of winning some games again. They don't look terrible. It's taking world-class goals, Kerry, to beat our team.
It is, somehow. I cannot believe my name here is Bicycle Kick Hater still, because last time I recorded with you guys on this, it was right after the Cincinnati game, where I was also a Bicycle Kick Hater then. So it is insane to see 2 of those goals happen against Sporting Kansas City in a span of 2 weeks.
That one was better, right? The Portland one was better.
Yes. I was hoping you'd have some critique on that.
No, that one was perfect. Hit the top of his foot flush. He measured out the pace on it and the height on it. It was perfect. It was amazing.
And he also had that first touch with it to set it up.
Oh my
which was
God.
nice.
Yeah.
Seriously, that was an incredible goal.
That was a clinic.
We do have a lot to talk about. They went from 0 shots to 11 shots. Pulskamp is playing good. Thad Bell, where would you like to start? Can we start where you got sprayed with a sprinkler? Can we just start right there? I want to start right there.
You can start wherever the hell you want, but I'm not very happy with Zach Cobb right now. Good friend of the pod. But
yeah, Zach put you on blast for that. I thought it was an endearing picture. You looked good. It was a funny moment. Everybody loves Thad. Everyone felt bad for old Thad on the sideline getting sprayed.
I get tweeted at today. Man, I didn't realize you were so old.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Then, yeah, that's not very nice.
So, yeah, no. I got hit by a sprinkler, man. It's not the first time. It just surprised me because it didn't look like it was going to reach us, but it reached all the way into the stands. So the first row of fans in the stands at the current game got hit also. But then again, I'm practically in the front row of the current fans that game. So yeah.
So let's start right there, Mike. 11 shots out of nowhere, 0 to 11 shots.
I mean, it's nice from the LA game that the team was able to get some shots and actually make Crépeau work a little bit compared to the week before against LA. There's still concerns with the quality of the chances that they're creating, though. Yeah. And I mean, I think you can ask questions of, is KC doing too much the other way to try to stop the flow of goals letting in, and in doing so, if it's causing problems for the attack going forward, and if we're creating fewer chances because of that. But I don't know. It's nice to see. It's nice to see better. It's nice to see more semblance of an attack than we saw in LA, but it's still a goose egg. Now, I mean, at least we can say Sporting finds fun ways to win and lose games.
We can say that. We have to say something. At least we can say that.
Hey, sometimes you got to look at this sport as it's entertainment, man. That's what it is, right? All sports are entertainment. So you're getting entertainment. It's just not always what you want it to be.
Thad, is he right that, I mean, the defense has been working. Is he right that maybe the team has been focused on defensive shape and the entire team focusing on that rather than creating chances?
It's a good question, and I've wondered the same thing myself. Is it that they're overcorrecting one way, and are they going to because I would say they overcorrected to score more goals, but they really weren't defending well before that. So that's probably not the case. I think it's just I'm hoping it is just a case that they're kind of fine tuning and trying to find a balance that works for them. And both teams that they went up against and they lost with the last two goals scored against them, as you said, they're worldies, and they were against two good teams, Cincinnati and Portland, on the road. Both of them teams that you wouldn't necessarily expect to go in and win games anyway. And if they're having to play that well to beat them, I think that's at least a positive steps.
Joveljic was trying, man. He's forcing it every time he got the ball. He was looking positive, looking to make something happen, even if he couldn't. But he isn't getting the service. When was the last time somebody played a ball in for him where he had the chance to just one touch put it on frame? Somebody needs to put it on his head. Somebody puts it on his foot for one touch finish like a striker should. I know that he is the kind of striker that can create his own chances, and he's not necessarily just the poacher that pokes in a goal like that. But he's getting no service. Thad, when was the last time you saw somebody play a ball in for him to just finish?
Well, I would say 4 games ago at least.
Yeah.
I would say
too
last
many games.
game against LA, that cross from Shallowy that was an own goal was exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It was a ball into the box for one of two, because Suleimanov was on the back post if it made it all the way through there as well. So I'd say the last game, technically.
And it worked. They scored a goal on that play, but that's one in the last 6, it feels like. And he needs to get more service, right, Mike?
No, he needs to get he needs to get the ball more. He needs to get the ball in the box more. I mean, to be fair, that was also an issue last year with our last striker. Now in defense, that was because Polito would drop back to play the 6.
Yeah, he was never there.
Instead of he wasn't in the box to be there. But it's a similar situation where we're just not getting our center forward enough touches in the box.
He did. He had one play where he got the ball at the top of the box and did this thing Sergio Aguero always used to do. If he could never get a shot, he'd finally get the ball, and it's just he'd dip the shoulder and then not shoot it and take another touch, and then dip the shoulder but not shoot it and take another touch. He's just looking and looking, and then he finally has to dish it off because it is just not working for him at the moment. Oh, sorry.
He is a streaky scorer. He is a streaky scorer, like most strikers are. So at one point, all of a sudden, he will get one, and the next one will go in, and he'll be fine. We just need everybody else to kind of pick it up a little bit. Shallowy, Manu, Shoppy, whoever else. Santi.
Daniel looked fit for a goal that game, and I actually liked Daniel, and I liked Shoppy in that game. Shoppy's been looking good, but I don't know exactly why it is just not working, why the quality changes just are not being made. But let's move on to Pulskamp. Pulskamp had a very good game. He did step it up. Thad, you were just asking for someone to step up. Pulskamp looked strong and confident and made some big saves in this one.
It's not just this one, but the last couple. I mean, he's been really, really strong. Very, very untree-like.
That can't be your analysis. That can't possibly be your full analysis. No, he made that kick save. A tree would never make that kick save. A kick save in a butte.
Yeah. And for people who don't listen regularly enough, that's just giving Cody crap because he thinks most keepers' saves could have been saved by a tree just naturally blowing in the gentle breeze.
Oh, 100%.
Doing nothing.
I'll reiterate. 50% of shots in Major League Soccer would be stopped by a tree just planted directly in the middle of the goal. 50%.
Hand up. Yeah. Next to the face, hand up.
That's all you gotta do. Quick hand, right to the face.
But I mean, you asked for more, and I think it's just really clear that Pulskamp is kind of coming into his own right now. He's getting more confident. He's taking more control of this box. He's coming out more when he needs to. He's just doing all the right things that a younger keeper should be doing right now. And he's probably not going to do them every game. He's probably going to still have some struggles here and there. But he's at least the last couple 3 games, he's looked like the keeper that everybody thought he should be, and still growing.
It's amazing what happens when you let a young goalkeeper play through their mistakes and learn from their mistakes. They get better. Shocking how that works.
And same for players in other positions. It's sometimes uncomfortable because you have to sometimes lose games or have some really stupid mistakes happen. You know, center backs, defensive midfielders, other, eights sometimes have to make these mistakes and just get out there and play. It's part of that rebuild process, which you never really know if you really want to do a rebuild or not, right? Play the kids. Oh, but we lose. Put somebody else in. Oh, damn it. Why aren't you playing the kids?
Mike, it's sorry, go ahead, Cody.
Was that sassiness in your voice about, oh, what do you know, that actually works? Does that mean last year you think they should have just been rolling with Pulskamp and we didn't need 37-year-old Tim Melia?
I'm not saying you had to go 100% with Melia, but I think there comes a point when if you want to develop a goalkeeper, if you want to develop any player, you have to be willing to, you have to know you're going to get mistakes. You have to know that the player is going to make mistakes because they haven't gotten the time at this level to learn exactly what they need to do. You can only learn so much playing MLS Next Pro soccer for Pulskamp or Miller, for example, if he were to play there. You can only learn so much there before you reach the pinnacle of that level, and you need to step it up again. And the only way to do that is get games. And with a goalkeeper, you only have one on the field, and 98% of the time you're not subbing him out. So you have to kind of just grin, bear it, and say, okay, he's our guy. We're going to have some issues, but we're going to roll with him.
And last year would have been a great year to do that when you were not getting any wins anyway. So it would have been a great time for him to just get a ton of experience. The downside to it is it maybe destroys some confidence, but he would have got a ton of confidence last year, or a ton of experience last year in a lot of bad games. But he would have had at least more opportunity.
To be fair, I was worried that earlier this year was destroying his confidence too.
Yeah, no, I understand. I agree. But again, they have to fight through it or they don't. That's one or the other. I mean, you have to get, if you play and you lose because you're inexperienced and you lose confidence, then you probably were never going to last anyway, honestly. You have to fight through it and get better and keep coming back and keep being, forgetting the mistakes and just get better. And if you don't, then, well, you're playing in USL and stuff like that. So,
I mean, as of right now, he's reached his top in appearances for a season.
Oh, wow.
His other one was at 12 in 2022. That was it. And so to have, this many matches, of course, that also probably includes, no, it wouldn't include Champions Cup, would it?
No,
We've played
or Open Cup either.
Yes, but I mean, he's getting more into the rhythm of, also having a back line that is now playing together well-ish. We'll get into that. But I mean, that's probably back in 2022. That was every 3, 4, 5 games, other than that first part of the season when Tim Melia was usually hurt. But yeah, I mean, even then he was having to. I mean, Peter never used the exact same back line multiple times in a row. So whenever he was having those chances, he always had to play with a different center back.
You're right, Carrie, by the way. It was 2022. He did 16 games across all competitions that year, but he only played 8 straight. Everything else was kind of spread out over different competitions. That was our run to the Open Cup semifinal against Sacramento that year. So he only got the only stretch was the 8-game stretch after Melia went out injured against LAFC, basically. So he's not. This is the longest stretch of continuous playing time he's gotten with the first team.
Thank you for that, Carrie. Nice job. Yeah, Pulskamp, I'm loving the Big Bear right now. He's called the Big Bear for a reason, and when you see him make a few of those saves in a row, you're reminded of that he is very physically imposing. Like, he's a big guy, and that's why he's earned this name. And I think if he makes a few of those like kick saves like that in a game, makes himself big, I think he's just going to start looking even bigger to the other teams because he is a physically imposing guy. And I also had the thought on this. He made a bunch of saves to keep them in this game, and I'm not sure that this team can afford to blow those chances. Like, when he does that and has a performance that keeps them in a game the way they did, I really felt like we missed an opportunity to secure a point there, Thad.
Yeah, it would have been really good for them to get the point there because, you hope to reward those good performances. Again, it's on the road at Portland, a team that's, near the top in the West. It was always going to be hard to win there anyway, but getting 1 point, again, it took a worldie to beat them, right?
It did.
And Shallowy had a couple of good chances early.
I thought Shallowy was going to get one. I was texting people, Shallowy's going to get one before this is over.
Because he had an XG of 0.31 on the first shot and 0.12 on that follow-up shot that came just like a few seconds later. So they had a good chance at it, and the ending XG for between the two teams is 1.1 to 1 or 1 to 0.9 depending on which place I was looking. So it was really close, and all of those things were closer than sometimes the eye test will show you. They had the chance to at least get a point there. They just didn't, and it's against a good team on the road. It's all those factors come into it. So I walk away from that looking like it's a good result.
Oh, Portland is a very good team. There's a lot more money on that field too, and we've mentioned the center backs. Miller and Volodor played a few games in a row now. It just seems to kind of be working, Thad. In my head, I'm not exactly sure why it is, but it's taking insane goals to beat them. Yeah,
it's again none of the defensive stoutness over the last couple of games has been because they looked really, really great.
Right, exactly.
It's because they worked really, really hard and sacrificed and did all those things that you want everybody to do. But it's working. Maybe it just has to continue to grow and refine. But you have, again, Jansen, who's a rookie in this league, and Volodor, who's not played a ton of games and has looked very good and very bad at times. But together they're doing pretty well. So I'm happy with them.
Mike, I want to hear.
It is nice.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, it is nice to see our U22 spots playing out correctly. I mean, Jean-Yves was kind of a wash. It was kind of iffy, trending down for Volodor. So it was nice to see that those are turning out eventually. We're 2 out of 3.
2 out of 3. Yeah, I think that's where I kind of landed on those guys. Mike, I wanted to hear your thoughts on them. Volodor started that game poorly with multiple mistakes. He almost gave away. He had a terrible giveaway right at the back, and they almost scored. But he really did settle in, and I think he had several good interceptions, good step-ups. He has a really good instinct for that step up. And I think he's a player that kind of takes a lot of risks, and that's why we see him get burned every now and then.
No, I think him and Miller have formed a good partnership, and it was partly out of necessity because of the fact that Rosero and Fernandez were hurt. But I mean, they're to the point where the two of them are keeping Rosero on the bench, even though he's apparently healthy at this point. So, I mean, I like how they've grown as a unit together over the past few games. Basically, they're looking competent, they're looking strong together. And again, it goes back to the point I made about Pulskamp, about they're getting time, they're getting comfortable in the position, they're getting comfortable at the level, and they know they can compete, basically. Because, I mean, I'd have to go back and see what Volodor's stretch for continuous action has been with Kansas City, but I'm sure it's not any – I'm sure this is probably his longest stretch of games he's gotten in a row at this point.
But it's nice to be able to play and not and know that you're not going to get yanked out just because you made a mistake. And that's what younger players have to sometimes achieve. Again, you don't want them to never, care about making a mistake, because obviously they have to care. But it's that fine line, and getting it right is hard.
That Jansen Miller is doing the work to prove to us that he is not an accountant like we think he looks like, and got a little scrappy. The dude is scrappy, and I like it. He got a little shoving match after that, after the final whistle.
He's a mean middle manager, man.
He runs that GameStop with a tight ship.
I actually didn't watch the match, so I went to the highlights, and that part was kept in. Like, the commentator saying that he's running or he's shoving Rodriguez. So,
well, it was right at the final whistle. All those highlights have to show the final whistle, so they couldn't have really.
Well, yeah, but they could have cut it.
Yeah, they could have showed something else, but yeah, no, it's good they showed it. He is, man. He's a little feisty. He's a little. I'm not gonna say nasty, but he's willing to do a little bit of in your face.
He's up for it. He's up for it.
It's not dirty. It's not nasty. I'm not quite sure, but just he's letting you know that he's not taking your shit.
Yeah.
He's going to give it back a little bit, and he's doing it in a pretty clean way. But you pull him down, he might just end up falling on you because you're there.
Yeah.
So, I like that in a player.
Scrappy, choppy.
Loving it. He might need to. He already kind of fought St. Louis in that last game, and we got St. Louis coming up here on Wednesday, so that'll be fun to see. Speaking of St. Louis, we're going to get to that after the break. We'll be right back. All right. Quick turnaround, Mike Kuhn. We're off to St. Louis on Wednesday. St. Louis is also awful. Can we get another win against our rival?
I mean, potentially, because St. Louis is bad right now, but I mean, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer.
You're Debbie Downing me right now. The beginning of your answer has Debbie downed me.
I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. I don't.
It's just his nature.
I still don't know what to expect from this team. Is I guess what I'm getting at.
That's what's fun.
I'm not sure.
That's why I think that's why I like them, guys.
And
it's fun.
That's fine. And that's fine. I'm just what that means is that I don't know what to expect from this game against St. Louis.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're going to come out and we're going to score 5 goals on 5 shots, or if we're going to come out and get no shots.
It is the battle of bad.
Yes, it is. And I think we can win the battle of bad, because we've not been that bad over the last, 6 games?
We've looked better.
Better. There you go. And St. Louis
Not
hasn't.
as bad.
St. Louis has looked bad.
No, it is. St. Louis is really down on Twitter on everything. Fans are leaving the stadium before the final whistle for the first time, and St. Louis is down bad for that.
Did you guys see that picture of the Miami fans leaving that Minnesota game early? And on the board on the side of the field, it says like the best fans in the league or something like that, the best supporters, and it shows just the backs of all these 10 messy 10 jerseys walking up and exiting.
Did you see the caption that Minnesota did for that?
Yes, well done.
Pink phony club.
Yeah, they posted a picture of a guy with a messy jersey, a Yankees hat, and Lakers shorts, I think is what it was, and something about that guy being upset.
And then David Beckham replied and was like,
did he?
Respect.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't even see
Like
that.
on Instagram. But
Yeah, he said something like "be classy" or something, right? Didn't he?
yeah.
Oh my God, what a win for Minnesota content team. That's incredible. Oh, David, you can't respond to that, my guy. Okay, Thad, or how about I'll go to Mike for this. The
First name
question I
basis.
have here, I didn't do that. I think Thad did this rundown. So I'm going to give Thad's question to you. Can the offense get turned back on here, Mike, for this St. Louis game? What do they need to do? How about, no, that's too vague a question. Tell me your strategy. How do we get the ball to Joveljic? How do they get Joveljic some chances in this one?
I mean, they're gonna have to get around St. Louis playing 10 of center backs on the field.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I mean,
They play so ugly. It's just such a grimy game, St. Louis does.
the big thing is they're gonna have to kind of, I guess, switch things up a bit dynamically. Like since Carey took over as head coach, they've been doing a lot more like attacking down the middle through Garcia in that way. And what's happened is teams have learned that, and teams are starting to kind of shut them down. As you mentioned in the first segment, we need to kind of go wide again and get Suleimanov and Shallowy get them to the end line and cutting back and try to find guys making the delayed runs into the box to get behind the St. Louis defense, basically. I mean, I have to admit, I've not watched a lot of St. Louis outside our one game against them, simply because, well, we always play at the same time, it feels like.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think we need to, there needs to be a bit of a dynamic change. And I think this is going to be not this game particularly, but in general, it's a big test for Carey, because Carey's Vagnon, sorry, Carey, with regards to, can he adjust what he's doing with the team now that teams have seen him enough that they are starting to game plan for how he has Kansas City's defense working, or defense and attack working?
Thad, should they just go in there and play trash ball? Just beat them at their own game?
I don't know that they can, but this St. Louis team isn't the same trash ball that the first 2 years were under Carnell. This is under Olaf, and they are just boring. It's not even just like the energy drink ball. It is we're going to play 5 center backs in the back line and a couple other defenders, and it's just boring. So it's hard for
They are
teams to
still
score
the
on them.
2012 Sporting KC, though, where it's like, if you lose the ball, just foul. Like, just bring them. The second, if you lose the ball, just bring them down. That's how they play, for sure. It's trash ball.
Yeah, I haven't seen it as much this year with that, but I haven't watched them that much, or not as much as others. But it's just going to be a different game, and I very much hope that if Sporting can get a goal early, then that just opens them up, and because they're going to have to respond. They can't just like lose to Sporting, off of an early goal or something. But it's a matchup of Midwest mediocrity.
Well done. Is that the new name for the rivalry? We still have never officially. No one's ever found a good name for that rivalry.
You mean you don't like Derby Q?
No, they don't
Not
have any place to
particularly.
talk about Q.
Yeah, 'cause that's my problem. Barbecue that sounds fun, but then we're having to like give them credit for being good at barbecue, and I'm not trying to do that.
On the drive to St. Louis, or not St. Louis, on the drive to Cincinnati, we stopped in St. Louis and took a picture with like their best barbecue, salt and whatever. And we just have the Sporting Kansas City flag waving in front of it.
You
Is it
had
like
a
Salt and Smoke or something?
Yes, it's that. And it was
'Cause-
during a Cardinals game, and so we had to circle the block like 4 times to try to find a parking spot just to get out for a 1-second photo.
Was the food worth it? Oh, you
No, we
didn't
didn't
even. Oh.
No, it was legit just like a pit stop to get gas and just to say that we're better.
After you were let down by the chili in Ohio, you were like, "No, we're not even going to stop for this barbecue. We just want to go make fun of them."
We would never.
Yeah, I still don't think there's a good name for it. I was calling it Roadkill Derby, the first one, because that's all I saw when I was driving over there was like dead possums and dead armadillos and
Yeah, I saw someone call it the Dead Possum Derby, which I'm sure that'd be the case for the 2 teams in Ohio. Most derbies would also have a lot of dead possums.
yeah, there's just nothing in between that like counts enough, like Columbia, Missouri Derby. No, that doesn't, the triple X rated store or whatever that is in Boonville or something.
We could just call it the I-90 series like they do for the baseball teams. Or the I-90, I-70 series. How did that come out of my mouth?
Yeah, that's too boring too, though, man. That's because everybody's done that.
Yeah.
What about like the Missouri River Runner Derby? I know it's long, but that's the train passage that goes from Cape to St. Louis.
Yes, that's actually not bad. That is a long name. Maybe we just drop the Missouri, the River Runner Derby.
There you go.
It's not bad.
Yeah, because I've thought of like a river something type of thing because that is the one connection between, and shit does flow downstream.
Okay, I think we talked about as much of the upcoming St. Louis game as we ever talk about an upcoming game. Any other final thoughts on that? Thad, are you going? You said you might go. Are you going?
I got a credential approved today, and so I plan on going, unless there's something that might end up holding me back. But otherwise, I plan on going. And yes, I don't wear anything that identifies what I am, who I am, and that's why I don't need Zach putting photos out of me.
Carrie, no road trip for you this time? No midweek road trip?
No, I gotta work.
You especially don't want Zach posting photos when he's gone full St. Louis troll mode.
Yeah.
With the game this week too.
Yeah.
You want...
two days before I go over there.
Yeah, you want to be far off his timeline when that Wednesday match comes around.
The last thing I'll say, because I know we have so I was looking at it today because this is game 2 of 3 on the road in 8 days. So just as a heads up, I was looking at it. Kansas City and Seattle are the only 2 that are playing all 3 of those games on the road.
Oh, wow.
For what it's worth.
Yeah, Kansas City has a shit schedule for this 2 weeks, especially, but this week especially.
Oh, yeah.
And how many... I don't know if you've looked at this, Mike, but how many times has Sporting played a midweek game at St. Louis when they've been at home or rested?
Well, to be fair, they're not rested, but they did play at home on Saturday against San Diego. But
that's why I said home or rested, not both.
Sorry. I mean, at most it's 3. Because of the fact that they've only been around 3 years. So I can say that, but I'm pretty sure it's at least 2 at this point. But I mean, the thing that is bad for KC. KC's going west from here to the West Coast, back to Midwest, and then back out to the West Coast. At least Seattle got their Midwest trip out of the way. They're now on the West Coast for 2. So Kansas City just has the worst schedule for these 3 match days.
Yes. And yes, schedulers could do a better job.
Did you see what happened to Willie? Oh, no, hold on. Let's go to break first. We'll tease it.
That's segment 3. Segment 3. It's in there.
I know. I'm teasing. We'll be right back. William, upon first reference, Agata, Had a very interesting game, Thad.
He did. He made a major impact on RSL. His first major impact so far of going over there, which again, it takes a little time to get your feet wet, get settled in, get where all the locker room is, where the food is, where to dive, that sort of thing.
And now that he is all settled in, what did he do?
Got a second yellow for diving and thus a red and out of the game.
No takebacks, RSL.
I told you, the man is a diver, and it is often terrible dives. I actually haven't even seen the play, but when I heard he got a second yellow for simulation, I was like, yep, sounds about right.
It was not pretty. It was not his best moment.
Probably not his worst, though. I bet it's not his worst.
Because he got played into the box, and I'm blanking on Dallas's goalkeeper's name at the moment, came out and challenged him, and Agata touched the ball around him, and as the Dallas goalkeeper was sliding out, but the Dallas goalkeeper didn't have his arms out or anything, and Willie just put the landing gear down, but didn't get touched at all. Did not get touched at all. And the referee didn't even, it wasn't even a second thought for the referee. He immediately blew for embellishment and got the yellow out.
And the first
I will say the angle that I saw did not definitively show that he was not touched at all, but it was not major contact. And I do believe he drug his foot to draw the contact that he did get, if he did get any. So I do want to see the, MLS stuff to see if there's anything about that. But
well, to be fair, the referee was also in the position that the camera angle didn't show that he would have been able to see if there was contact.
Right. And we do know that pro referees have never made a mistake.
I'm not saying he couldn't have made a mistake. I'm just saying that he had the angle, and all the replays I saw made it seem like he didn't get touched.
Yeah. I agree. I just wanted to be fair that I'm not sure he didn't get touched, but it wasn't by a lot.
And the first yellow was probably because it was a stupid tackle because he was behind the play because he's too slow and too eager.
It was a stupid tackle, if I remember right.
Dude, he used to do that here. He's behind the play, still very eager, goes in strong. It's stupid. God, I'm so glad he's gone.
That is how he got his red card here.
Yeah. Okay, something that makes me happier. Okay, Carrie, one more thing.
I was just going to say it didn't make instant replay. I just looked it up.
It did or didn't?
It did. So you can go watch it.
Okay. I will go watch it after this.
Yeah, I actually will check that out.
And speaking of former, okay, sorry, Carrie, go ahead.
I would just say from captions it says, I don't think you could call it a dive. So.
Oh, wow.
Interesting. I will have to go watch because I'm just trying to be fair. I'm not trying to say, defend him or crucify him, but from the angle I saw, I could not tell.
If only we were all fully prepared and had done this research and looked at it before we started talking about it on a podcast.
Hey, I have an excuse. I was asked 5 minutes before we started to come join.
And I did all the research I possibly could last night before the game or before the pod recorded, but then we didn't do it. I wonder why. That was. Carrie, do you remember?
I
don't know.
Carrie and I were here, I believe. Was Carrie? I didn't see you, but we were chatting. Yes.
I can't believe that person fell asleep. Let's talk about something that makes me happy to talk about. The Kansas City Current got another win, Thad. Ted Lasso was there. 4 goals on the night. Coach Beard was also there. I believe, what are they, kicking off their season 4 press tour? Is that probably what that is?
I don't know that there was any press tour to it, but I just imagine it helps a little bit.
They're starting the campaign. A little social media engagement there to start off the campaign. They're working on it.
This is his first KC Current game, so I would hope that he's just here to be here.
Is it really? Oh, I didn't even know that.
That's what I know of. And he was also wearing a WNBA hoodie at the Current game, which was interesting, but maybe he wants to talk to the Longs about getting that expansion WNBA team.
Yeah, because I know there's a girl in the town, last name of Long, that plays basketball pretty well.
Eventually, people are going to start asking questions.
Are they not already?
I was being generous.
This is when we need the show to actually be video, because Carrie and I are both like looking at each other, waiting for the other one to laugh. So I apologize for the few seconds of silence there, but Carrie and I are both kind of like inside joking at it. This, well, it's not even an inside joke. It's just trying to see who can crack each other up at this point.
So, Thad, I took kind of a victory lap in the middle of this game because Dabinia scored that banger of a goal from way outside the box, and it was that take that I'm always kind of afraid to say because I don't want to sound a certain way when I say this, but
You mean sexist?
I don't know sexist, but I don't think it could be construed as that. But when I am watching women's soccer in WSL or international, I can't get over the idea that I just keep saying, shoot it. I don't care how far away they are. I just want them to shoot it and test this tiny keeper in the middle of the goal that is the same size of goal as it is for the men. And she fired that home, and that keeper could not get over to that corner of that net, Thad.
She did get over, but she got
a touch on it.
Pitifully.
Yeah, she got a touch on it.
Pitifully, she got over there. A sad little limp wrist she got on that ball.
I don't think it was that bad. It was a well-taken free kick. Now, in the Currents' defense, they had the only players crashing the box, so it was likely going in if she had made the save.
Well, these women are very precise and can kick the ball really freaking hard, and that's why I'm saying, those keepers just cannot get to that corner at the same speed and strength that the men can, right? I don't think that that's sexist, right?
And I have never seen a man beat a keeper in that same fashion ever before.
That's what it does. It happens with the men because it's hard to save it in that corner. So that's why I'm like, ladies,
it's also hard to
shoot it over there.
It's also hard to hit a ball that hard from that distance to beat the goalie.
In Jordan Silkowitz's defense, she is still very new to starting.
Yeah.
So
it's her first season starting. She's 8 games in or something like that.
Are we going first? Are we completely discounting her time in the A-League before she got recalled from her loan?
Yeah, we're talking about a real. We're talking about a real league.
9-10 games in Australia as
there was an entire year between that and now. So
I'm just trying to get this factually correct here because she was a starter in Australia.
She was also a starter for
but
Iowa
it's upside
State.
down.
Oh my God. Come on.
No, you're right, Mike. Yes, she was, but it's not NWSL because much like other leagues around the world, you go from NWSL there to get extra time. So it would be like being a starter in USL. Yes, they were a starter, but it's not the same as being in MLS, right? So this is not the same.
And this is the keeper that we're talking about?
Yes, Jordan Silkwood. She was here in Kansas City for a while.
Trash.
Ended up in Bay City.
She looked terrible. It looked terrible.
Waived
she's been good this season.
She has been good this season.
Well,
PK saved last year.
She looked pathetic on
last week.
Yeah, she's a young and upcoming keeper who we don't know how good she will be, but
not that good.
I think she'll be pretty good.
Well, Bay's defense was also pitiful.
Yes,
it was.
But yes, anybody, male or female, that puts a ball into that corner, it's hard to stop.
That goal from Temwa Chawinga, I think she was pressing a little bit in the middle of that game. The announcer even kind of saw that as well. And that's why when she scored that goal, if I was any other team, a fan of any other team in this league, I would feel so defeated. The Current can beat you in so many different ways. And I think if I was another team and I'm watching this, I'm like, our only hope is that Temwa Chawinga gets the yips here. It's been a minute since she scored. We just need her to get the yips and lose confidence and not score. And even in that game, she had a couple moments, like a few chances, didn't work out. And then on that goal, she took the ball from midfield and just remembered who she was and got a goal. So you love to see it.
They rolled out the new Casey Current streetcar, and every person that's not a goalie scored the last game.
Oh, wow. Good.
So you have your 3 Brazilians and then Temwa on the streetcar.
Wow, beautiful. It looks really good, too. I love when the Current does that. They design that streetcar really nicely. When the hell is this opening on Main Street? It's spring. I was told spring 25. I've seen the car running. They've been testing it. Maine's been under construction for 5 years. Open the damn streetcar.
Are these things
agree.
ever on time?
This has been your segment of Streetcar 101 podcast.
I just want to go to the Nelson and not drive and pay $30.
No, I want the dream. This is what I've been waiting for since they announced this extension. I live close to Main Street. I want to walk up the hill, 3 blocks over to Main Street, get on the streetcar, take it down to the River Market, or maybe, how about Crossroads? Get off for dinner in the Crossroads. And then we're going to hop back on, and then we're going to take it all the way to the new extension right at the gate of CPKC Stadium, take in a wonderful game, watch the stars of women's soccer beat everyone else, and then hop back on and go all the way home. Ooh, maybe stop off for a drink in the River Market, because you can I'm just on the streetcar. I can just hop right off, have myself a drink. Come on, aren't I just painting a wonderful evening in Kansas City, Carrie? Doesn't that sound magical?
Yeah, it does. However, your logic is flawed just a little bit.
Well, that's a first.
Damn it.
Maybe
the
stop off
streetcar-
at Home Depot. I don't know if we'll have time.
Yes.
The streetcar will
Costco.
not go straight to the current yet. I think that's another year.
Yeah, that's still
Okay,
another
well,
year. They've
I'm just
built
letting
it
you know
though.
for your first.
I can get to the River Market. That's close, and then take that bridge. Also, did I dream this? They're spending like millions of dollars to redo that pedestrian bridge?
No, I think they're adding one next to it.
Or they're adding another one. Okay, right. Yeah, a significant investment for that pedestrian bridge I saw. I'm so excited. I wish we could just snap our fingers and just have that area be done. I'm tired of waiting on all of this. So many things happening in Kansas City. Great time to be in Kansas City, but we just got to keep waiting, and I'm tired of it. And while it's all happening, my life is under construction.
I just think we're talking about the current stadium. I just think it's interesting that because this was in the news earlier today, Colorado, their NWSL team had their stadium approved by the Denver City Council today. And
Nice.
so now you'll have 2 downtown women's soccer stadiums while their men's teams play out in the boonies.
Wow. Yeah. Mike, what about the Boston Legacy? How hilarious is this with the Boston Legacy? They cannot do anything right, this NWSL club.
For those that didn't see, apparently Boston Legacy FC, the NWSL team coming there, is starting to use the BLFC as their shorthand. And apparently that is also the shorthand for a significant furry convention.
I just Googled this. BLFC 2024 Furry Con in Reno, Nevada.
Wouldn't it be wild if it,
Oh my
if
God.
it was taking place at Cody's work?
Yes, I guarantee you it is at their convention center there. We just had Comic-Con at my work, and there was a furry room. There was literally a room designated for headless furries so that they could all gather there out of costume. No, that's so funny, though. Boston Legacy, for those who don't know, that's the former Boz Nation, which was the first attempt at branding that team, and it was absolutely horrible. And they're still not getting anything right.
It's the Boston Breakers in a different font.
Right.
Hey, no, what's that like old saying? Like no news is bad. Like what?
No publicity is bad publicity.
Yeah. So I mean, we're talking about them. Otherwise, we would never talk about.
We were talking about them with Boss Nation.
Yeah,
though.
and that
it's
was
still
that
changed.
was bad press, like 100%. That was bad press.
Yes, but people were talking. They knew about them. They would. How many people would not even have known that Boston was getting a team?
Oh man, but you're
So,
talking
it's-
about it, right? No, that's not a good.
Yeah.
It's not always a good thing.
When 6 months or whatever later, the Athletic comes out with an article about how bad it went, and the owners were all checking their phones the entire way back to Boston after the press announcement. Not sure that's that great.
Hey, don't forget too-many-balls.com.
Right? Yeah.
And they still have a lot more time to do something else.
Oh my God.
I mean, they still have a lot of opportunity to create a buzz or
Their ineptitude is not done yet.
Well, I mean, they have time. It's not completely done yet.
So, Kerry, we're 8 matches in, 6-0-2. They're at the top of the table, 18 points, 2 points ahead of Orlando Pride. Are we looking at the Shield? I look at this team, and I'm just like, this team just feels so much better, at least on the attacking end, than everybody else. Are we looking at the Shield?
I did think about this yesterday whenever I was waiting for someone to join, but never joined.
Can't help yourself.
Yeah, I mean, especially now that there is separation between Orlando and us and just everyone else. Although we'll have to see how this upcoming game goes since they are at Orlando. But with that separation, I mean, that was something that you never really had last season until August, maybe. And that's whenever Orlando just kept running away with it.
Yeah. But it's only 2 points, and they are going to Orlando. So it's a little early to get too hyper about it. But you never know, man.
Orlando's up next? I guess I had missed that.
Yes. They play Friday in Orlando. So as long as they can get out of there with a point, then they stay on top of the table.
Put the kids to bed for that one. First and second place. That's a put the kids to bed game. I don't have kids.
Did you guys see that they came out with like the first group of CONCACAF Women's Cup? So there's 3 teams that were invited for NWSL, and it's the top 3 from last year. So Casey Current just missed out, which could help us in the long run.
Yeah.
Orlando, Washington Spirit, and Gotham, all a part of that.
Yeah, one less 3D printed competition that we need. Yeah.
That one's sort of a real competition. So it's more real than
more real than the other one.
Yeah.
That one's trying to get to the men's level.
Yeah, they need an open cup and all kinds of stuff. But then again, the men still need a real open cup too. But so Cody,
yes,
I just want to go back to something just to make sure, because we talked about Ted Lasso earlier being at the current game, and potentially being a little starting the press tour a little bit or getting some buzz out there.
Okay.
You do know that he is supposed to coach a women's team next year in the next season.
That did happen, or was that a spoiler? Is that a spoiler for season 2, season 3?
Season 4.
Season 4. I mean,
it's not a spoiler for any season that's been out.
Right.
So that's the plot that they're saying of.
That's supposedly what they're planning, is that he's going to end up coaching a women's team.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I had heard. That was in my head, but I thought when you said that it was a spoiler, and I didn't want to spoil that last season for anybody.
The last scene, I will say, I don't think this just kind of adds to it, is that Rebecca is opening up a book that says AFC Richmond Women's.
That's right.
But I think it'd be kind of cool if he had to take over an NWSL team, just an emergency basis, come in and coach.
Yeah.
Teal,
Is there a release date? Do they have a release date for the new?
I haven't seen one yet, but I think the last thing I saw was that they were in the process of writing it still, but that was a couple months ago.
Let him go back to Wichita.
Oh, so they haven't even written it or filmed it or anything? The press tour definitely has not started yet then.
Well, that's why I was disagreeing with you.
Okay, you're right. But now Carrie brought up the WNBA hoodie. I think she's onto something there. I think he was putting out feelers.
No, he's been spotted in that hoodie a lot. Like, he goes to a lot of W games. So
I would love if we got a team here for that.
Yeah.
He was spotted at Pearl Tavern in Lee Summit.
That's crazy. It's like he's from here.
Yeah. Well, he's not from Lee Summit. That was just a shout out for all my Jackson County crowd.
Okay, KCK.
I'm surrounded by Johnson County people here.
Here?
Where?
On here, like on this podcast? Because
Mike, where do you live? I don't even know.
Lee Summit.
You're a Scummit? Hell yeah! Good job. See, why didn't you speak up? You should have been like, "Oh, Pearl Tavern. I go there all the time. Cool."
Because I don't go to Pearl Tavern.
My parents.
I drive by it.
I go to Johnny's and have a beer.
My parents love Pearl Tavern.
I've never actually been inside there. Well, no, I was in there once, but I've never eaten in there.
Only time I've been in there was when it was the 810 zone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those went away pretty fast too, didn't they?
Downtown Lee Summit got kind of fun.
It is fun.
That didn't exist when I was living in Lee Summit.
It is fun.
It didn't exist when you were too young to use it.
Also, downtown Kansas City. All the downtowns of my life got better. There was downtown Kansas City didn't even exist when I was a kid or in high school.
Yes, it did.
What year is the Sprint Center?
I went down to downtown Kansas City when you would have been a kid.
What and to? Oh well, I guess the Midland was there, but that's it. That was the only thing in downtown.
It still existed. You got to remember, you're talking to Mike. Facts, actual. Every
is
detail
that what you
matters.
were doing, Mike? Is that where you said you were going?
No, not only no.
And the movie theater right across from the Midland was the movie
No,
theater. I think for many years that was it.
No,
2007. It was the.
I went
was the
to
Sprint Center.
the bar on Broadway.
Quaff?
Yes, there we go.
Quaff.
I went there quite a bit. Yes,
That's Crossroads though, right? I think
No.
Quality Hill.
That's inside the
Quaff.
downtown loop.
Oh yeah,
Cody.
that's the other side. Yeah. Okay, you're right.
Yeah. It's not exactly a place that you take kids to, but yeah.
That wasn't supposed to be. We were talking about downtown was a thing. You didn't.
I'm not arguing here, Mike.
Not you, Cody.
It was a thing. I mean, I went down there when I first moved to Kansas City, and there was people drifting around doing aimless drug
drifters.
things.
Yes, you're exactly right. It was drifters is who it was. And now it's very rich people at 1 light and 2 light and power and light.
And 4 light. Don't forget all the lights if you're going to start counting them.
I didn't want to count.
Sounds like a Dr. Seuss book. 1 light, 2 light, 3 light, 4 light.
That was. All right. Thad, leave us with something prophetic.
Barbecue sauce.
Sporting!
The other side don't seem so tough, and 3 own goals ain't all that rough. Our skipper has just been sent off. Supporters strong have all gone soft. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. Give me beer or whiskey, wine or gin, anything to shake this mood I'm in. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking.